fucking bleed now!
It's crazy, yeah, and I just signed on to do 26 episodes of a podcast with a company called Paragon Collective, which I guess is I've already recorded about 12. That's launching tomorrow, so yeah, I have a lot of stuff on my plate, but it's good, it's good problems to have. I've been working on music, I've been working on Jasta songs, and we've been doing this 2-year Hatebreed World Tour, but we've tried to have strategic breaks in between, so even though it looks like a ton of touring, we are having breaks in between each tour. Like after this show, we have a little bit of a break this week, and then we go do the Barbecue in Richmond with Body Count again, and then we have a little bit of a break, and then we go to South America with Napalm Death, and so with my show, I'll be taping. Like I'll do a podcast from the Barbecue. I'll do one in South America. Send it to LA, it'll get edited, and so I try to have breaks. I'm not as busy as I used to be. Yeah, I mean, I haven't, I've been off TV since like probably 2005 or 2006, and then I stopped doing my label like full time back in 2012, and that's been a major relief because now I'm not dealing with so many different things. No, I mean, well, hustle beats talent, 9 out of 10 times. I mean, you can be the most talented guy and graduate from Berkeley and shred the guitar like nobody else, but if you're not personable and if you're not cool to be around, nobody's going to want to be in a band with you, I mean, I think I think first and foremost, you need to be personable and be someone that people want around, especially headlining bands. People used to wonder why Hatebreed would get all these huge tours with Slipknot and Ozzy and all that stuff, and I think most of the time it was because once we all stopped partying and drinking and getting crazy, we were all pretty nice to be around, and we didn't cause drama, and Slayer's taking us on the road. We're going out in the UK with Volbeat. We've done Europe with Korn, Australia with Korn. We've done huge tours, so I think you got to be a good support act and you got to be pro. Yeah, I mean, you have to be aware of all that stuff. Definitely have to have have a manager who is, but I try to do more of the creative now and less of the business, which I think is helpful because then I can, all the time that I would spend doing all the behind the scenes work would sometimes cut into the creative, and I'd rather focus on just writing and writing riffs, writing lyrics, and working on my clothing line. You mentioned the sponsoring the MMA fighters. I just do smaller promotions, fighters that it's like signing an unsigned band. I've sponsored some UFC guys, Shane Carwin, Chris Camozzi, but I don't do a lot with the UFC as far as sponsoring. I do smaller promotions like Bellator and World Series of Fighting and Legacy, and I'm happy with that just because I do it for fun. I don't need the money. I like to support some of these up-and-coming fighters. Well, the Divinity of Purpose, I think the reason why it was so successful in the places that we've been touring was because we went back multiple times. In the States it did pretty good. We were able to do 3 tours in support of it in the States, and then we really focused on this record to do international stuff. So we did Southeast Asia, we did Europe, we did Eastern Europe, we did Russia, we did England, we did now we're going to South America, then we're going out again in Europe and the UK. We're supporting Volbeat. We just played with them, supported them in Denmark in their hometown, 20,000 people. So that's more people than, we played in one night to more people than what our last album sold in Denmark. So it's important, I think, to make a solid record, but then actually tour behind it. And this is a record that we could play every song live, and we've been doing like 6 or 7 of the new songs live, and they all go over very well. So that feels good as well. Yeah, because I want to say that the last album, not Divinity of Purpose, but self-titled album, I want to say it sold like 1,500 copies in just Denmark, which is a very small country. And when we headline there, maybe we do 500 people or 1,000 people. Well, we played to 20,000 people in one night, opening for Volbeat, and we played the Roskilde Festival with Metallica, which we played the side stage. It was a tent for about 5,000 people. But it was amazing. So, and then we went back and we had a sold-out headline show after that. So we've already done 3 shows in just Denmark on this album, which we've never done in one album. And we're going back for Aalborg Metal Fest. We're headlining, us and Cannibal Corpse are headlining in November. So that'll be the 4th time we've played in Denmark in less than 16 months. So, I mean, yeah, we're doing a lot of work internationally, Scandinavia, Europe, like I said, Eastern Europe, and then, you know, we're going to hit South America, and probably next year it'll have to continue into next year because there's more offers coming. Everybody's pretty normal, actually. I mean, they're maniacs, but, you know, they're good maniacs, so we have a lot of good people that follow us. I think maybe in the late 90s we got a bad reputation because there was a lot of fights and a lot of you know, folklore surrounding. This was like the pre-internet stuff, and then once the internet you know, exploded and you started seeing the YouTube videos and things like that, you know, we really came to, I guess, into ourselves, into our own in 2000, 2003, 2004. So at that time, you know, doing big metal tours with Slayer and Ozzy and Black Sabbath and Judas Priest and all these big bands, it really, you know, broadened our audience, and it's been great ever since. Yeah, I mean, there's political topics that I just stray away from because I'm not passionate enough about it, or I just didn't feel like there was a point. I mean, I've had producers, you know, suggest other topics to address in the songs, but really, I think that anything in life that involves any sort of discipline, it takes a lot of repetition. So I like to have repetition in my songs because I want to listen to them and I have to play them, you know, night after night. So I want to be able to like listen to them and be able to play them and give it that feeling of almost like it just comes to me second nature. And so like if I'm listening to demos of a new song and I've written the lyrics, a lot of times when I'm running, if it's not repetitive enough, I want it to go back into a part that I like. So I'll you know, I'll do like a test jog, or I'll do like a thing where I'm driving in the car and I'll listen to it. So I like repetition. Yeah, or I'll take a drive in the car and I'll listen back and stuff. And sometimes I'll have like too many lyrics. Like if you listen to the Perseverance album, the song Perseverance itself is like so long. I could have made that into 3 songs, but that's back then I wanted to say so much in one song, whereas now I want a little more repetition and just say less but mean more. Actually, I learned a trick from Deftones too. With my Jasta album, Chino does this trick where he sings the melody and then puts the fits the words into the melody. And so on a song called Set You Adrift, there's a melodic chorus that I sing, and I didn't have the words until I had the melody, and then I did the Chino trick. So thank you, Chino. I don't know. I think that you could, like, if you look at a band like the Ramones, or you look at a band like Nirvana, I would try to make Hatebreed kind of like that, in a sense where it's just back to basics. I want Hatebreed to kind of be like the Ramones of heavy music. You know, we're not the most handsome band, we're not the most marketable band, but our songs are memorable. Everybody knows our name and our logo and at least a couple of songs. Even people that hate us, they know Live for This, they know Destroy Everything, they know I Will Be Heard. People that hate the band, you know, they know about us, they know our logo. We're a world, you know, we're a world traveling band. I mean, we're a global band. So I say, you know, don't fuck with the formula, keep it how it is. So that just goes to show. I mean, it's, you know, we've been doing this for 20 years, and regardless of the reviews or the critics or whatever, like, the formula is there. It works. People enjoy it. People love singing along. People of all, you know, different subgenres and different scenes. And, you know, legendary bands like Typo Negative, Cannibal Corpse, Agnostic Front, Exploited, Napalm Death, all these bands that we grew up listening to, we bring them on tour, you know, and try to show the younger kids, the newer fans, that this is, you know, what we liked when we were growing up, and they should check it out too. So, you know, we've been very lucky to be in that position. Yeah, we have fun with it. We like to do it every night, and, you know, we're at the point now where we go out, we have a good time. It still gives us a charge. And I think that's all you want. You want to just get the charge, get out there, whether it's today, like a 45-minute set, or, you know, the show the night before last where we did almost 2 hours. It's just fun, you know, and it's got to be, I think, to really dial it in and make it sound good. It's great. I love it. That's all I wanted, was just I didn't want it to just be strictly entertainment. I mean, a lot of people on the outside looking in will say that heavy metal and hardcore is just loud noise, and it's you know, anger and hatred and all this stuff. But really, I wanted to turn the negative into a positive, and I thought the best way to do that would be say something that I would want to hear myself. So, like, to kind of like give myself like the message, because I have to sing it every night. And so what people don't realize is that we've been on the road for, you know, now we're going on, you know, since 97, 98, we've been heavily touring. So all the stuff that you face, a normal person, you know, that's working a normal day job, we have to face while dealing with the ins and outs of a touring lifestyle. So singing that stuff to myself is like empowering every night. So it's kind of starts with me, but then if someone else can get something out of it, I feel like it's just a little bit more than entertainment, which is nice. Well, I just say it's a cyclical power. I always tell people I don't ever get ever get tired of hearing positive things. So, you know, it's not something that I really could ever, you know, get sick of. It's nice, you know, especially when you have to deal with little things that you would think, you know, add up year after year. Just little things behind the scenes that are, you know, that break bands up or that cause major stresses. It's when someone tells you their music, you know, kept them off the drugs or the ledge that they were going to jump from or whatever. It goes, all right, well, then that stuff that's bothersome or the stuff that's a struggle, you know, while you're trying to maintain a band's, you know, success, it means more now because someone was affected positively. That's a misconception. I actually would say this last tour in Europe and the tour we did right prior to that tour was like we outsold guy shirts with girl shirts. Oh, yeah? Yeah, so I mean, I think it's a misconception because of the late 90s. It was so male dominated, but I would say from 2002, 2003 onward, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, we've toured with, you know, bands with female members as well. You know, everybody from Figure 4 to OTEP to Arch Enemy to Kitty to, you know, I mean, there's countless bands. So, but, well, I think it's just a more welcoming thing. So I think that women gravitate towards metal and harder music now because it's not as much as it's not just boys fun anymore, and people are more open-minded, and you know, it's not as I guess threatening as it once was. Yeah, because I remember, like, especially actually I think it's more threatening at like Dave Matthews concerts. Like I remember there was a security guy that told me we had more girls like that were like groped and like fighting other girls and being assaulted at a Dave Matthews concert than we did at Mayhem Fest. So there you go, you know. So like, but if you were a 13-year-old girl and you were into Justin Bieber and you saw, you know, a mosh pit, you might think that it's threatening. So, but that's why you talk about it and you speak out and you say, like, I have believers on my Twitter, believe it or not. I got followed by believers all the time, and then they go, you're the first metal band I ever checked out, and then they learn about other bands. So, you know, from the outside it might look threatening, but it isn't. Probably science, just because I feel like there's so much about science that we don't know, that the forces that be don't want us to know, and it would be interesting to, you know, be in that field or be in that circle of people. I would imagine it'd be very fun to learn about different things, science related. Good too. All right, thank you so much.